All right, Rudskogen, I think is how you say it. New track for me, fairly new track to iRacing. Track's 21 degrees, so I've seen it as low as 18, and it probably goes up a few degrees more than that. So this is probably a little bit middle ground. It is a new track, so it does have the more detailed rules of off tracks here. All these red zones, most of them come with a 1x and also a slowdown, and a lot of them can be pretty penalizing. So you may want to brush up on these rules. Keep your car on track, don't spin out, don't get one of these slowdowns, and you'll probably have a pretty good finish here. If you like the Red Bull Ring, you'll like this track. It is like the Red Bull Ring, just without the big long straights. Setup's in the description below. It's a 5.8. If you're struggling, you may want to try 7, but 8 is, I think, really where you need to be. You do need a lot of rotation through these corners, so just be aware of that. That's, I think, about all there is to say. Cold tires, first 3 laps. This track is really slick, so keep that in mind. If you're in the 130, mid 133s, 34s, 35, 6s, probably be something here that'll help you out. So we'll go through the corners turn by turn in slow-mo and then run it out at full speed. So coming into turn 1 here, in 4th gear, I like to stay in 4th gear. If you're drafting off someone, you might want to be in 5th. But I like to keep it in 4th. It's just more consistent. Turn 1 is pretty important. You can lose a lot of time here. If there's a car right in front of you, I'm looking for the curbs here, but if there's a car right in front, that may be hard to see, so you may want to also have a judgment of where you are from the 100 board for your braking marker. I like to brake just in front of the curbs here, from 4th gear down into 2nd. It's a pretty decent amount of brakes. You can probably maybe brake later if you're a little better on the brakes than I am. So just releasing the brake slowly. Again, on the first few laps, this is pretty slick, so be aware of that. All of these slowdown areas, the big thing is just keep one tire within the white line, and you're good. So yeah, just getting over the mound here, picking up the throttle as early as possible. Probably could have picked it up a little earlier than that. In 2nd gear, and then just aiming for these next curbs. Again, keeping the tire within the white line, but you can get your right tire on the pavement here. That's no problem. That's probably a good thing. Just don't get onto this grass. Otherwise, you do get an X. I don't think you get a slowdown, but you'll get an X. And just keeping it in 2nd gear, just throttle management, picking it up as early as possible, and then kind of just sighting sort of the point of the curb here. That's the direction you want to get your car going. So exit out there, and again, depending on your graphics settings and all that stuff, this track there is a pretty defined patch to follow, and it's just a good guideline to keep you going. Pretty fast and pretty consistent. And so just working up the gears, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, all the way up into 5th. Again, probably could have picked up the throttle a little earlier, and could have used a little bit more of the track here. I exited, and there's still a couple of wheel widths of track there. So 5th gear, coming down this hill, looking for that 50 board. I'm probably a little bit early here on the brakes, shifting down into 4th, and probably a little too much brakes. On cold tires, that probably is what you want to do. On hot tires, I probably came in here a little too cautious. And then, but basically you want to slow the car down. Cold tires is really easy to spin it out here or run yourself wide. I don't believe you get a slowdown if you get into this section, but you do get an X, and it does really cost you a lot of time. So you want to get into these curbs, picking up the throttle in 4th gear, and then basically the trees on the right here, when you get to the end of them, I am shifting down into 3rd. I just tapped the brakes here a little bit because it felt a little loose in the rear. Shifting down into 3rd and then just picking up the throttle. Again, you don't want to really goose the throttle here because you can spin out or run yourself wide, and wide is not good. Too wide anyways is not good. Yeah, just getting onto these curbs, unwinding the wheel. Again, I don't like to unwind it all the way, or I don't like to get the car all the way over to the left. You do have to get over to the right to open up this next section and get through it as fast as possible. So in 3rd gear here, holding it in 3rd gear, and again aiming for these curbs and keeping that right hand tire within the white line, and you can get onto the curb and even a little bit of that green stuff, and then aiming for the next curb. Just rinse and repeat. Keep your left tire within the white line, get on the green stuff there in 3rd gear, and then looking for the next curb, and basically 2 car lengths in front of that curb, just a little bit of brake, shifting down into 2nd gear, getting over top of that curb, and then sort of once you've got past that, shifting down here into 1st gear, just briefly, and then picking up in 2nd gear, yeah, right there. You can probably do this on hot tires, this whole section in 2nd gear, if you're really good at managing the momentum and such. I just find I need to get into 1st gear to get the rotation of the car, certainly on cold tires. 1st gear for sure for me. And getting on to the curb, and yeah, just picking up the power. 2nd gear, working yourself up into 3rd and 4th, and unwinding the wheel. And you can use all the track here. Just keep that left-hand wheel within the white line, and again, you can get onto that pavement a little bit if you've run it a bit wider, and just make sure you're not touching that grass. So 4th gear, looking at this 50 board, getting on the brakes pretty hard. This actually tightens up pretty good. Shifting down from 4th into 1st, and again pretty hard on the brakes. If you're better on the brakes than I am, you can probably brake a little bit later into this one. On cold tires though, this is a spot you can really lose the back end, so don't outbrake yourself on those first few laps. Getting on the curbs, I find they help rotate the car a little bit as well, and just picking up the throttle as early as possible, because this is a bit of a section of full power. Up into 2nd gear, up into 3rd gear at the top of the hill here. And you could use a sign here. I don't. I kind of wait till I'm up top with the car squared and on this curb, and then shifting down into 2nd. Just a little dab of brakes. Certainly on cold tires you'll need that dab of brakes. On hot tires I probably could have done this without the brakes. And again, just using the green stuff there and just keeping that tire within the limits. In 2nd gear, and then working up into 3rd gear. And this one in 3rd gear, you definitely turn in earlier than you think you do for this one, so a car length or so before the end of the curbs. You're turning in on cold tires. You might want to lift a little there. Yeah, I'm lifting here just to get that turn in But yeah, be careful on cold tires. In second gear, and then just picking up the throttle again. You don't want to come into this one too tight. You don't want to get onto the curbs on entry into this section. I probably came in here a little tighter than I should have been. And basically this is a big long corner, just throttle management in second gear. And basically at the end of this sand, I'd prefer to be probably up here, half a car width over, and then just turning in and picking up that throttle as early as possible to get full power, because this is probably the second longest straight, I guess. And I find, keeping a tire on the curb actually helps rotate the car a little bit too. You don't want to get on that grass though. It will spin your car, so careful with that. And unwinding the wheel, second gear, working your way up into third, into fourth, to get to turn one. And again, you can get onto the pavement here, just keep that tire within the white line. And that is it, 132.3. So definitely left some time on the table. I know 131s are definitely where the alien time is at. So hopefully that helps you out. Hit the like and subscribe, and we will see you out there. Drive safe. This track is pretty darn unforgiving. The slightest mistake, you're spinning or you're getting slowdowns. And it's actually pretty tough to pass on as well. I think it's going to be a bit of a survival race. So we'll see you out there.